Hello everyone, Namaste. Welcome to my class. In this video, I am going to tell you about the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Both the cells are mainly distinguished by the presence or absence of nucleus. So, now focus on major differences between these two types of cells one by one. But before that, those who are watching my channel for the first time, please do subscribe for more videos. Now coming back to prokaryotic and eukaryotic. These two vary in several important ways. Some of the key differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes are listed below. First one is definition. Prokaryote. Any cell that does not contain a clearly defined nucleus and membrane-bound organelles called prokaryotes. Whereas any cell that contains a clearly defined nucleus and membrane-bound organelles are called eukaryotic cells. Complexity. Prokaryotes are simple, whereas eukaryotes are more complex in structure. Cell structure. Prokaryotes are always unicellular, whereas eukaryotes are unicellular and multicellular types. Coming to cell size. Prokaryotic cells are smaller in size, varying 0.1 to 5 micrometer in length. However, a large centimeter long bacterium has recently been discovered in a mangrove swamp area. Whereas eukaryotic cells are large, around 10 to 100 micrometer in length. Coming to nucleus. As I told you earlier, nucleus is absent in prokaryotes, whereas present in eukaryotic cells. Nucleod. Nucleod is present in prokaryotic cells, whereas it is absent in eukaryotic cells. Chromosomes. Only one long single loop of DNA present in prokaryotic cells, whereas more than one is present in eukaryotic cells. DNA form. In prokaryotic cells, it is circular and single chromosome, whereas in eukaryotic cells, it is linear and multiple chromosomes. DNA replication. In prokaryotic cells, it replicates entire genome at one time, whereas in eukaryotic cells, it is highly regulated with selective origins and sequences. Coming to transcription and translation. In prokaryotic cells, transcription and translation are coupled. That is, both translation begins during mRNA synthesis. Whereas in eukaryotic cells, translation and transcription are not coupled. Transcription occurs in the nucleus producing mRNA. The mRNA then exits the nucleus and translation occurs in the cell's cytoplasm. Cell division. In prokaryotic cells, the cell division is by means of binary fission, whereas in eukaryotic cells, it is either mitosis or meiosis. Growth rate and generation time. In prokaryotic cells, that is, growth rate and generation time is very faster, whereas in eukaryotic cells, it is bit slow. Membrane bound organelles. As you know already, it is present in eukaryotic cells, whereas absent in prokaryotic cells. Organelles. In prokaryotic cells, few with simple structure organelles are present, whereas in eukaryotic cells, many organelles with complex structure and specialized functions. Cytoplasm. It is present in both the eukaryotic and prokaryotic types, but in prokaryotic types, cell organelles absent and sites of all metabolic process takes place in the cytoplasm itself. Whereas in eukaryotic cells, cells organelles are present, but they contain other organelles. Mitochondria. It is absent in prokaryotic cells. Energy is produced in the cytoplasm, whereas it is present in the eukaryotic cells and it is called as powerhouse of the cell. Endoplasmic reticulum. It is absent in prokaryotic cells and simpler protein synthesis takes place in the cytoplasm. Whereas in eukaryotic cells, the endoplasmic reticulum is present and it is very important for protein synthesis. Coming to ribosome. In prokaryotic cells, these ribosomes are 70S form and they are very small. In eukaryotic cells, it is 80S form, it is big. Golgi complex. In prokaryotic cells, it is absent, whereas in eukaryotic cells, it is present. Lysosomes. In prokaryotic cells, it is absent, whereas in eukaryotic cells, common in animals, whereas absent in plant. Peroxisomes. In prokaryotic cells, it is absent, whereas in eukaryotic cells, it is present. Centrioles. Same here also in prokaryotic cells, it is absent. In eukaryotic cells, it is present. Cilia and flagella. These two are help in the movement of the body. These are present in both the type of cells, whereas in prokaryotic cells, it is a complex in structure. In eukaryotic cells, the structure is very simple. Plasmid and capsules. Both are present in prokaryotic cells, whereas absent in eukaryotic cells. Coming to cell wall. Cell wall is present in both the cells and it is help in the structure and protection from outside the environment, and in both the cases it is made up of a carbohydrate and protein called peptidoglycan. Cell membrane or plasma membrane. This cell membrane and plasma membrane is present in both the cell types. Whereas coming to reproduction, in prokaryotic cells, reproduction takes place by means of asexual mode of reproduction, whereas in eukaryotic cells, the reproduction takes place by means of asexual as well as sexual mode. Examples: prokaryotic cells like bacteria and archaea are the examples, whereas eukaryotic cell types are animals, plants, fungi, algae, and protozoa. So, this is the basic difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So, that is all for today. I hope you understand well. Any clarification, please text me. Thank you. See you in the next class.